am just so elated and honored to be here. And by the way, I'm a free spirit. This thing stifles me, so I need to move around. Our God is good all the time. And all the time he's good because we are here this morning. I need to thank Miss Judy for inviting me to be a presenter here. When you are asked by your peers to do something as awesome as this, then you know it is the Spirit of God that's working, because I am not a traditional person. Now, let's do some housework. Most of the time, speakers tell you or say what you want to hear. I'm not that person. I will tell you and share with you things that might move you emotionally, spiritually, and you don't want to hear it. But you need to hear it so that we can break the silence, that vicious circle of silence that's destroyed our communities. It's awesome to be here. Today, this month, we are celebrating African American Catholic women. We're focusing on cancer awareness, abuse, violence, domestic abuse. However, I'm a bit puzzled because I'm being presented in a church. I'm presenting in a church, the Lord's house. That means I've got to really watch what I say. And it's not going to happen, because it could be that I'm being used as an instrument to point out the things that you need to hear, and now is the time. Now is the time. But that's okay. I'm non-traditional, and you're going to get a non-traditional presentation. You know what I'm about to say, and I bet you're shaking in your boots. We talk about violence, domestic violence. We talk about we are Black Catholic women. What is that? What are we talking about when we say we are Black Catholic women? Because I can remember, and I'm Catholic, I'm a member of Immaculate Heart of Mary Church. I was in church, raised in the church. I'm the grand lady for the Knights of Peter Claver, Ladies Auxiliary, Court 76. Woo-hoo! And the youngest of 15 children. Yeah, they were busy. My family, my siblings, are not here. But my family is here, because you are my family. And thank you for having me. It is my hope that when you leave from here today, you will have a different but clearer understanding of what is killing us as people, what is destroying our families, our communities. And believe it or not, just simple acts of kindness is a possible cure, a possible solution. But we don't practice acts of kindness. It is my hope that the circle of silence will be broken. Okay, we're in the Catholic Church. God, please forgive me. As Catholic women from my generation, the school, the church, the family told us there were certain things we can't talk about. We can't say. And those are the main things that's killing us today. I'm not going to fill your head with a lot of statistics. I want to talk to you in a language that you will understand. I can give you statistics. I've researched everything I'm about to tell you, but I'm not going to go with this percentage, that percentage. So what is domestic violence? It's defined as harm, controlling acts by a man on a woman, a man on a man, a woman on a woman, but they never talk about domestic violence on children. Never. It's called child abuse. So why is it not called female abuse, male abuse? That's because this controlling society really don't want you to know what you are perpetrating. And so we sit and we listen to what we have been taught. We are quiet. We don't talk about incest. We don't talk about our neighbor next door howling and screaming, because that's none of our business. We don't, in Walmart, when we see a mom slapping, knocking, calling her child stupid, we don't do anything about it. Oh, she deserved it. That's none of my business. It is your business. Yes. Because you could take an act of kindness, and you might get cursed out, but that won't be your first time. You can simply say, oh my God, how is your day going? You have been truly blessed with this gorgeous child. Have a good day. And while she's cussing and screaming at you, just keep walking. Because she has heard you. And you've done one major thing. You have deflected her anger, her embarrassment from harming that child. But we don't do that. We move on. Researchers want to tell us some strange things, like one in Lafayette, 1 in every 3 women are being abused. That could be your neighbor. And if you want to be honest, that could be you. But that's nobody's business. 1 in every 7 males are being abused. Oh no. So why don't men say anything? It's their ego. They don't want to let their male friends know they just got whooped by that woman. Why don't we as women reach out? We see abuse all the time. We see it in the church, we see it in the schools, we see it in our community, and we see it in our home. But we blind because we don't look at it as abuse. You having a bad day. Your children walk in. Why are you bringing up all that noise? Go sit down, girl. What are you doing? Just get out of my face. You're acting like your daddy. Oh my God. That's abuse. That's abuse. But somebody told us this was discipline. Oops. You keep listening to our controlling society. We think abuse can only be physical. No. Abuse is physical, psychological, emotional, financial, and social. Let me hit on you. Yeah, you're perpetrators of financial abuse. Your neighbor get food stamps. Oops, am I touching on somebody? Your neighbor gets food stamps, and you know she can't buy a washing powder and other little things with her Louisiana card. So you tell her, let me buy $100 worth of food on your card, and I'll give you $50. You know it's happening. You see it. You hear it. That is financial abuse. It's also financial abuse when you have a minor child and you open up a credit card in his name with his social security card. And then when he becomes 17, 18, he has bad credit since he was 4. You understand where I'm coming from? We, in our own little way, we are perpetrators of domestic violence because we call it something else. We call it something else. But a thorn on a rose is a thorn on a rose, and we need to be real about it. Yes. So, example. A couple little boys are playing. One is being aggressive. He's pushing it, taking it, calling names. And so an adult comes by, oh, don't do that. That's not how you solve a challenge. And here comes this macho man, oh, let him be a boy. Boys will be boys. Okay, that little 4 or 5-year-old goes to school, 2nd grade. Things not going his way. He pushes, he hits, calls names. The school system doesn't have time to deal with that behavior, so she said, don't do that, boy, don't sit down, don't do that. Nothing is done. Well, Paul is now, oops, didn't mean to call him Paul. Tom is now in 8th grade. By this time, Tom is acting the exact same way. Well, you know by now they have security on campus. He's going to the juvenile detention center. Oh, and y'all know this is Jackie, my sister, who's calling to tell me that she can't make it. That's all right. She's a devout Catholic, and if you're in Church Point, you will see her. She is all over the place, and she is the reason I am who I am. That is my sister. So he's now in the juvenile system. Well, he's with people he can learn from. Okay, he gets out, 16, 17, he's beginning to date. Oh, he's a good little boy. He come from a good family. He went to that little place. They got him straight. All the learned behaviors he's practicing in that relationship. So now what we call it? Abuse. Abuse. When every time John, Joe, or Paul misbehaved, we should have taken this time as a teachable moment. When those 4-year-olds were acting up, we should have sat with them and taught them how to behave. And then followed up with something positive, a good act of kindness, a hug. I'm going to tell you where they got that behavior from. And then when he was in 2nd grade, that teacher should have used that as a teachable moment. Taught him how to deal with challenging situations. Taught him. Sent him to the counselor for therapeutic sessions. Called the parent. The counselor called the parent. And the parent in turn talks to the child. I said talk. I didn't say fuss, cuss, scream, call him out his name. Because you know where he learned that behavior from? Several places. That television, you, the neighborhood, the school. So all the institutions that have made us supposedly the great people that we are the same institutions that are killing us, and we are allowing it to happen. When the teacher call you and tell you your child, your grandchild, misbehaving class, oh, I'm going to that school, I'm going to get her straight. So what are you going to do with the child? Acts of kindness. Isn't going to solve everything, but it's a beginning. If you have something different, something new, let us try it. It all happens. When you got here today, and people were getting out of the cars, setting up, did you just reach out and try to help somebody? Did you compliment that person on how gorgeous they look? That you were pleased they were here to share with you, be it as a partaker or a partaker or a presenter? Did you don't know, as was said earlier, you don't know what baggage I'm here with today, or the person sitting next to you. But a beautiful smile, a soft voice, a kind touch can change a horrible situation into a sunshiny day. Instead of saying, oh my God, they look like big birds, big old birds. Where they got insurance from? I can't believe they pay for insurance. Oh Lord. And look at her. What is that she's wearing? Oh Lord. You notice how many words it took to say the negative when the positive was just a touch? We do that, and we're not even aware that we are perpetrating those things, those acts that are destroying us. Think about it. And I'm a deputy, so you can't hurt me because I will arrest you. What are acts of kindness? Good morning. How are you? Oh my God. You have the most beautiful smile. Now, may not have a teeth in the mouth. But that's not the point. The point is, you are adding to the joy, the inner self, the inner spirit of somebody who may have just walked out of a relationship that caused them to wonder whether they should live or die. You need to think about that. Or, here's another thing. We're with our cohorts, it's 4 of us, and we're just hanging out. And we start to gossip. Girl, did you see her last night at Miami Moon with that man? Oh my God. And you're not understanding that one of your cohorts, that's her husband. You have just psychologically and emotionally destroy someone you claim to be your friend. So we need to watch what we say. Saying what the speaker prior to me said, we need to be aware of what we say, how we say it, and we need to be godly in everything that we do. Don't just come to church and wonder, I wonder what Dr. Cook is wearing today with his big hats on my head. Oh my God, there coming the proud family. Oh girl, she's an usher every day, every Sunday. She gives out the Holy Communion. Look at what she's wearing. No, that's not what it's all about. There's a thing that we need to become very, very, very aware of. It's a new word. It's called sexual tourist. Have you heard of it? Well, you better. You better. You better be in your neighborhood. And you better watch who's passing. You better know your neighbors. You better say good morning to them. Good afternoon. Oh, your grass is so well manicured. Oh, that's a gorgeous dog you have in the backyard, even though he kept you up all night. Because a sexual tourist is a person who rides around the community and looks for someone that they can abuse. It could be a child that you left playing outside by his or herself. It could be you, who you just gone grocery shopping, you have bags of things in your hand and you walk into the door. Car unlocked, purse in the car. It could be you in Walmart's parking lot. And that's where most of the tourists, sexual predators are, in parking lots. And they roam up neighborhoods where, how many of you, when you leave, you leave your lights on the carport for when you get back, when you're trying to save electricity? Leave those lights on. Before you get out of your car, you look around and see what is there. Because the sexual tourist, that's what they spend their time on. And are they people from out of jail? Are they poor people? Are they black people? Are they, what kind of people are they? They're alive. They're all people. They're lawyers, doctors, nurses, you name it. This is what they do. Is it a disease? I'm a doctor of education. I don't know that. But the controlling society will want you to believe that it's a disease that's uncontrollable. Well, if it's uncontrollable, why hasn't the system done something about it? You know why? Because you have not identified it. You see strangers in your neighborhood. You need to know, why is he there? Why is she there? Why are they there? But you don't ask, and it isn't because you are afraid. It's because it's none of your business. It's none of your business. Well, let me tell you when it becomes your business. When that sexual terrorist attack someone in your family or you, then you want somebody to do something about it. When you saw him all before, and you could have taken the license plate down, alert the authorities, and many times they won't do anything the first time. You have to keep alerting. Let the other neighbors know. Oh, but you can't let the other neighbors know because you don't know. We live in our little glass houses with our beautiful cars, our beautiful children, our little chihuahua, and that's it. I can remember living in Church Point, and the next house to us was about 1.5 miles down. We knew everybody. We visited with everybody. We took people to church. And how did 15 children, 2 parents, 2 maternal grandparents, and 2 paternal grandparents fit in one station wagon? We didn't. We had a truck. We put benches in the back of the truck. And we had, what are these things called? They look like hearse, but that's what we had. And then we sat on each other's lap. We didn't need a seatbelt at that time. But we knew, and we could tell when our neighbor was going through havoc because we were there. It was our business. And that's when we had that village. How many of you know everybody in your neighborhood to the point where you have their telephone numbers and you know when their doctor's appointments are, what school their children go to, and who's coming to visit them during the Christmas holidays? No. Let's get this straight. Now, let me hit on something that you might want to throw me out. But that's okay. Many of us practice incestual acts. Oh, not me, Dr. Cook. You must have the wrong person. I'm a good Christian black woman in the Catholic Church. All right, think about this. You have this gorgeous little granddaughter, and every time you see her, you kiss her on the lips. Oh, somebody just rolled their eyes at me. Oh, Dr. Cook, that's an act of compassion, of love. Kissing on the lips is an adult act, a sacred act for relationships. So, if here goes John and Paul and Eric, see you kissing little Betty on the lips, they think they can do it too. I just want you to think. Okay, think about this. You have a grandbaby or a newborn baby and they're wearing diapers. You just lie on the floor and you change their diapers. You lie in the bathroom at Walmart and you change their diapers. You in the back seat and you change their diapers. There are other kids around. And they want to know, why is she got something different from me? So they start exploring. They want to see it again, and they want to know why it's different. But that's not in your mind, and it should be. Here's another thing. Oh my God. Privacy. Children, you need privacy. Children need privacy. You need. Okay, boy, go take your bath. Leave that door open. No. Close that door. Close that door. Because you don't know what's in the mind of the people that's in your house. Or the children fall asleep and you let them sleep in the bed with you. They're 5, 6, 7 years old. Or the latest thing we heard was these two guys raped a 9-month-old baby girl. Oh, she feels more comfortable in bed with me. No. No. Or, this is my house. I can walk the way I want. So you walk around, children, in less than godlike women clothing. You walk around with a towel around you. You don't know what their puberty level is. You don't know what they're thinking when they see your boom booms all over the place. Oh, I see a smile, but I need you to think about this. Or, Daddy goes to the bathroom and you just leave the door open. Close that door. Tell him to close that door. Or you getting ready to go out. Doesn't matter where it is. And you got your thing on. It's so inappropriate because it should have stayed on that hanger. It fit better there. And your children or the kids around you or the young adults around you or the old adults around you hear you say, I'm going out tonight. I'm getting my thing on. I'm going to get my groove going. So when you come back, why should they not check to see if you got your groove on? You have not thought about this because it's non-traditional. It's non-traditional. It is not all right for Uncle to sit next to Mary Louella and put his arms around me and have a conversation. It's not all right. I don't care if he did not see me in 12 years. You sit there, I sit here, talk to me face to face, give me eye contact. We don't think about that. Privacy should start with the child at the age of 2. Because now they are very inquisitive. At the age of 5, a child's brain has usurped about 60% of what he or she will need to learn and use as an adult. So the world is his school. And whatever he hears, whatever he or she sees, that's what they do. All right? You sit down looking at the bold and the beautiful, the young and the restless. I don't forgot the rest. And you have this child sitting right next to your babysitting. And Jill, no, it's not her. Nikki, Nikki, and that little, Artera, goes up to the room, and then they show him in bed. Is that pornography for a child? Yes. Yes, it is. Let's get something even simpler. Oh, you are home on Saturdays, and this is your day off. you sit in front of that television and you watch the cartoons. Have you watched the cartoons lately? Every 14 to 15 seconds, there are acts of violence that these children pick up. And then, because they are creatures of habit, they mimic what they see. So then you have someone who is now, you call it, a perpetrator. So your child comes in and he says, let's give him 15 years old. Mama, you know what that so-and-so and so-and-so did to me at school today? Boy, you better watch your mouth. This is my house. You can't talk to me like that. Who the da-da-da-da-da-da you think you are? I'm a product of you. Because you just told me that. Let's hit on Black Catholics. Oh, God. And some of my ladies are here from my court that might impeach me. We go to church, hopefully every Sunday, and we stick our tongue out or we reach our hand for the Eucharist. Before we have chewed the last piece, we having strange thoughts about that heifer that just walked past. Okay, you know we do. Or you sitting next, which is what happened to me, you're sitting next to a young lady who's about 12, 13. She is totally inappropriately dressed. She has the distressed pants on with, you know, the seams cut all the way down here. She has a little T-top on with the back all out. And it's fitting her. Because now her hormones are hitting on the sides. And she's sitting next to her mom, who's dressed the exact same way. So, people are looking at her. What they looking at? You. Because you're being sexually explicit. And so is your mom. You need to think about that. Yes. So what I did, and my granddaughter was very upset with me. What I did, after Mass, I put my arm around her. I said, sweetie, you are so precious. What is your name? Told me in a negative tone because she didn't know me. What school you go to? I said, you know what? I would like for you to be in one of our pageants. Really? Really? I said, but I'm going to have to show you what you can wear. Because if you were going to a birthday party, this would be fun. But you're in God's church. You're in God's house. This is where you protect your temple. And so the mom came up to me. Dr. Cook, I've been telling her that all day. She just don't listen to me. Who's the parent? Okay, here's a good one. I'm getting all the girls. Man about 90 years old, walking in church. With his plaid underwear showing because his pants are down to his badoni. Nobody, not even the ushers at the door, told him to pull him up. That would have been an act of kindness. But we let it happen. We let it happen. Domestic violence has a tendency to show its ugly head before you say it. Because oh, she got an attitude today. Well, you don't know what's going on in her room. Instead of diagnosing what's going on, do a simple act of kindness. Is everything all right? I'm here for you if you need me. You want to go for a walk? Hey, there's a movie going on at the theater. They're not shooting tonight. So we can go. And if you want to talk, fine. If you don't want to talk, it's okay. You notice the caring that you have done? Now, let's talk about emotional abuse. And I'm just going to go psychological, emotional, psychosomatic. We know that there are people in our midst that are different from us. We know that. But they are God's children. And if we are godly, we need to respect who they are, because they will be the ones on Judgment Day either get that moment with the king or need a refrigerator. We are allowing our children because children are my passion, to experiment with their gender, their sexuality, their appearance, their verbiage. Oh no, I said I'm going to use those words. Their language. And we don't correct them. You know, when you see two young ladies together, inappropriately touching each other, something is not kosher. Amen. So what you do? Oh my God. Then turn her out. No. No. You need, whether it's your child, the neighbor's child, the child, you need to find an act of kindness to communicate with that child, or those two, because you don't know which one is the bully, which one is the perpetrator, which one is the victim. And you don't know when it's going to enter your home. We need to open our eyes. We need to talk to each other. We need to be able to, for example, I need to be able to go to Madeline, who is one of my high school classmates who I've been jealous of all my life, and tell her, Madeline, you were at the conference the other day, but you weren't as active as you usually are. Let's go sit and talk about this. And Madeline tells me what's going on. She was worried about leaving Joe home, and she's answering, calling, and he's not answering. And so my job is not to tell her, Madeline, that's a man. He don't want to be bothered. He's glad you're away. Let it be. My job is to say, why don't you try calling the neighbors? Why don't you send him a message? Why don't you just wait till later on? Maybe he has a new job that he's working on. It's going to be all right. Pray on it. Pray on it. And then give her that act of kindness, a hug, a pat. And so, girl, come on, let's go. You know, just take that trauma away from her. Now, Madeline, when you get home, don't beat Joe up. Parents, friends, and I know y'all think I'm ADHD, because if I was a child and they had this medicine out, I would have been on every kind of drug because I can't keep still. When you are filled with negative emotions, baggage. I was going to say junk in your trunk, but that means something else. When things don't go, are not going the way you need them to go, this is the worst time that you need to be confrontational with somebody else. Because what you will do, and that includes your children, that includes your significant other, that includes your spouse, that includes your grandparents or anybody around you. If you will become confrontational, and the root of that confrontational is not what's in front of you, it's what's in your heart. And that's what you're dealing with. That's what you're dealing with. Now, can we, as Black Catholic women, can we invoke abuse on ourselves? Yes, we can. And we do it all the time. You get a challenge. Oh, I can't do that. And then you go in your little pity party. That's emotional abuse to yourself. How do you handle that? Put it aside. I wish I could talk French and then I'd say it in French. Put it aside. Weigh the value of it. Come back to it. You have calmed down. Come back to it and say, okay, maybe it's not for me to solve. Maybe it's not the right time to deal with this. Find something happy to do. It might be going to the casino. Find something happy to do. Let it sit there. All it's doing is tearing you apart. You can't think straight. You can't have a decent conversation. You definitely cannot make a decent decision process. Let it sit. When you are happy and you have done an act of kindness for yourself, that problem may not be the problem. And I'll share this with you. And it was said, working with women is challenging. Working with Black women is really challenging. Working with highly motivated and intelligent women are super challenging. The worst challenge is to work with an older, wiser, experienced person because it's her way or the highway. They don't mean to abuse you, but they are. And how do you handle that? You don't. You don't. Try changing the minds of an 80-year-old woman about how to make gumbo. You don't. Try to tell an 80-year-old woman that you know better than her because you have a degree. At that moment, you need to turn your head because you're about to get swept. Act of kindness. Oh my God, you make the best gumbo in the world. Show me the ingredients. And she's showing, oh honey, this is, you put this, you put a pinch of that, never measured. And you put a little bit of this, don't put your chicken in that. Honey, don't put your chicken in that. And then you come in, but what happens if I bake the chicken and get all the grease out of it first? What you think about that? Oh, Sherry didn't do it like that before, but that's a good idea. Now you see how that act of kindness have saved your face? It happens. It happens. Domestic regardless of what shade it comes in, has to be stopped. It's not going to stop. It's not going to go away because you pray on it. Sorry, God. God help those who help themselves. That's what my grandmother used to say. You can pray all you want. If you don't go out and get a job, it's not coming to you. You're not getting money. So you can pray, oh Jesus, Lord, Mary, Joseph, and all these other people in heaven, please get my son out of jail and let him do right. It's not going to happen. You have to get off of your badonkies, be bold, and do something about it. Now, as a black Catholic woman in this congregation, this group, we can't stand aggressive and bold women. I'm one of them. I know. Well, she thinks she's all that. That doctorate degree, well, let me tell you about that doctorate degree. And it's on my card. That doctorate degree did not make me the person I am. My brothers, my sisters, my mom, my dad, my grandparents, my neighbors took the time with me and said, Louella, you need not be that sassy. So, when I get before a crowd, and let me tell y'all about Lafayette. Thank God I've been here since 1970. If you're not somebody's family, you're an outsider. And they deal with, you deal with us this way. We appreciate you, baby, but that's not how we do things. When I started to open the school, I had so much psychological and emotional abuse. It was unbelievable. Because people, my peers, my black sisters told me, who you think you are? You can't do that. You can't get the money. But let me share with you. If I wouldn't have been bold and believe in God and myself, our children would be in all failing schools. Because tell me, how do you suspend, how do you expel a kindergarten? And I cried, and I prayed, and I went to Father James, and I said, Father, why is it they doing this to me? And this is what he said. You are not thinking about this. This was written long before you did it. Follow your heart, pray about it, and do it. And do it because it's the right thing to do. Not because it's what somebody else wants you to do. So now, with 2 schools, an A school and a B school, controlling society want to talk to me. But they didn't understand that they nearly killed me. My spirit, my soul, my heart, my belief. I questioned God. I said, well, why you put me here if you know that people do this to me? I got a child to raise. I got grandkids to raise. And then I went to an elderly lady whose daughter is in the audience. And I said, Mother, I can't take this anymore. And she said in her little voice, and she had a powerful little voice, do you? Pray on it. They did this to my child. They did that to my child. You be you. Don't leave the organization. Don't let the schools down, because it's not about you. It's not about the organization. It's about everybody. And in the end, and I may not be here, in the end, you will be understood for the fact that kindness and the act of helping people is who you are. It's not about your degrees. It's not about your car. It's not about you at all. So and in her little fine voice, she said, anytime you do good, it hurts. Mother and I had conversations that her two daughters didn't know anything about. But she and Father James were the people that put the lead under my feet and made sure that I would not sink. Just keep in mind, you don't know the value of the person sitting next to you. That person can save your life. But you've got to reach out and touch that person and let them know that your life is not about you. It's about them. And say, hello, thank you. Let me reach out and add quality to your life, to your spirit. Each and every one of you should have received an act of kindness card. Read it, share it with someone. Share it with someone you don't like. 25 of you received a $25 gift card from Lowe's Boutique. It's really not for you. Give it to somebody else. And then take it back. And then take it back. It is my hope that through all of this, through our discussions, that you now know that perpetrators of domestic violence aren't just bad people. They are within us. We understand. We know. Before you speak to a child or another person, say something positive before you end up tearing the soul and the being out of that person. And I got a motto, and that came off of, I forgot, Instagram or something. My default is kindness. And please don't take it as a weakness. Take it as a tool to use me to help you become a better person so you can end that cycle of silence that's killing us. Talk, look, observe. Our children are hurting. Our elderly are hurting. It's been a pleasure being here. If you have any questions for me, I just touched on what domestic violence is. If you are a victim of domestic violence, there is help out there for you. If you don't know that you're a victim of domestic violence and you have some of the symptoms, you're a victim. Admit it, talk about it. Thank you so very much, and may God bless you.